want to turn our attention to yesterday's game, the main game, the ANZAC Day game. Now, before we chat to Darcy Cameron, I want to get your thoughts on the Bombers. And obviously, as I mentioned from our listeners too, 133, 693. Very flat performance from them in the second half at the MCG. The first half was competitive in that it was close score-wise, but I was a little bit disappointed at halftime, to be honest, with what I was seeing. But the Bombers, they look like they've completely lost their way after a couple of promising weeks. Our own Matthew Lloyd, well, he was absolutely scathing about it in his criticism post-game.
What is Essendon's game plan? Like, they have chopped and changed all year. They beat Melbourne with chipping the ball around. They went faster against the Gold Coast today. They went fast in the first half. Second half, they retreated. So I don't think they had that definable plan. Look at Parrish, no impact in the midfield. Andrew McGrath, he has the odd moment or two, but he's not an A-grade midfielder. Zach Merrett was quiet today.
What's the balance sheet or the scorecards, Lloydie, from your point of view, say about Ben Mackay?
He doesn't hurt. Like, all these backmen these days, like you think of Josh Battle and Barras, Harris Andrews, they mark the footy and then they hurt you and they impact the game. Ben doesn't do that. Like, he's getting paid $1 million, but he's nervous with the footy and he's nervous below his knees. He doesn't help you. He doesn't assist you in anything with winning the ball.
So 133 693 Bombers fans, has this totally undone the good work of the past few weeks? Did we get ourselves ahead of ourselves, I should say, thinking that the Bombers were better than they actually are? Shorey.
Well, I was at the game, and I've got to say, when I came in yesterday, I said I felt sorry for the Essendon team. That's how bad it was. It was disorganised, the skill level. And let me tell you, the first half, I'm like you, Laura, that first half was disgraceful from Collingwood too. Like, they were only 14 points up. You're still in the game. You've been beaten by 70 into the end of the game. And
26 shots Collingwood had after half-time.
Yep.
26
well,
shots.
Like I said, it was disorganised. The skill level was disgraceful. I reckon to put them back. It's not to be hard on Essendon, but you're right. 2 weeks were we fooled by it? They beat Melbourne. I think Melbourne weren't ready for it, but they played a game. You just don't know what you're going to get. And that on that big scene, I know they had 9 players who hadn't played on an ANZAC Day, but they had played senior football. So let's get over that sort of part of it. It was horrible, and it did put them back. I don't know where you go from here, but anyway, it is what it is, and they think they've got the coach who's going to take them to the next premiership. That's what the president.
Well, that's what they've said.
That's the president said that.
It's very hard for me to believe from where they are at the moment.
Right there.
And you saw him spraying the midfielders after that third quarter where the Pies started to run away with it, and then we see what Ben Mackay is doing. He is a bit of a whipping boy for the Bombers, Richo, but on a salary like that, which unfortunately everybody knows about, the expectations are high.
Oh, of course, and you have to do that. The thing that worried me about them is that Collingwood haven't been scoring. Collingwood have struggled to score, and to have the amount of scoring shots they had, that tells me Essendon's defensive system is just non-existent. To be able for Collingwood to come out and have 26 shots after half-time when they haven't been able to score. They haven't got near 100 points.
Nope.
And they go way past it yesterday. And that's a worry. The other thing that Lloydie said there that worries me is that he can't see a game plan and that it chops and changes. Libby, now, you're part of a premiership team. You've got to have a sound system that you can rely on. You can't chop and change from week to week.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Lloydie and yourself, Richo. I think as soon as you start changing week to week, when the pressure hits, what do you fall back on? And I think that's where the confusion element comes back, because everyone's just doing different things from different parts of the game plan, and there's no backbone to the identity of how you want to play. And when you're under pressure, like an ANZAC Day clash, that's when it looks a little bit muddled. The waters are muddy, and that's why we get a performance like that.
All right, let's have a listen to Cole Langford, and he had some strong words after the game on 3RW.
We've got to have a hard look at ourselves here. Like, we really got to dig deep and own our mistakes, own our areas. That's something that every single player, coaches included, will be doing, and then we'll look to move forward. But yeah, you can't just kind of sweep a game like that under the rug. You've got to really learn from it, dive deep into what kind of happened, and then you can kind of look forward to Brisbane and the following weeks.
Well, he's right, and I think, to me, it was the kind of game that maybe showed where they're actually at. And the last couple of weeks, as we were saying before, Shorey,
they had been good for 11
run.
quarters. From quarter time against the Dogs, they put in a pretty good performance. Yep. As you said, Melbourne, they got Melbourne over at Gather Round. And against the Suns, they were pretty good. The Suns at home. But yesterday, that was right back to what they were before that
Well,
Dogs
you
game.
tell me straight away, that the man who just spoke, Kyle Langford, you tell me, is he a forward or is he a defender? What do you see in his game that you could say, I just see forward?
Well,
he's kicked multiple goals in games which they haven't got any forwards who can really jump up and grab
He's kicked
you.
over 40 goals in the season.
There you go. So the bloke, to me, is a forward, but they're trying to make him now into a defender, and they've just had 26 shots after half time against them. Well, it ain't working. They are just disjointed. I just don't know what they're going to do from this area now.
133693. Over to you. Today's best caller will receive a $100 gift card thanks to Harvey Norman. Best brands, best range, best prices. Go Harvey Norman. Ring us on the Nick Theodosi open line. Keen to hear thoughts from Bombers fans after that performance yesterday. We'll start with you, Andrew.
I just want to talk about how do they get their confidence back, and how would they be if Zach Merrett has gone?
Worse, I would have thought. If he'd
well,
gone.
of course, you can't. You lose an A-grade midfielder, you're not going to be better. But
No. But
I
you
mean,
do that.
the question's going to linger for me, though, that if Merrett was so steadfast on leaving,
That'll come up again.
I just feel like it's going to rear its head again at the end
No
of this
doubt.
year. If they're not winning and they can't turn it around in this season, I just feel like Merrett's probably going to want to move on again. So should they have cut their losses at the end of last year? A lot of
no
people
doubt.
think they should have.
No doubt.
To answer Andrew's question, confidence comes from consistent performances.
Yep.
Now, they had probably, as you said, Richard, 11 quarters where they were
they're pretty
consistent.
good, yeah.
But now they have a game like that and it takes you 3 or 4 steps back in terms of you building your confidence, because the level of trust that you have on with your teammate next to you, are they going to perform, goes down again. So they need to have 3 or 4 or 5 weeks where they're consistently producing the game plan that they want to in order to build that confidence. So I would say it starts again after yesterday.
And Zach Merrett, losing him, it's not about losing Zach Merrett because you'd have to get like for like. So,
Which you
swap
won't.
over with which you won't.
Because
It's
how do you get someone
It's only
to your
about
club
draft
at the
picks
moment?
and doing what you want to do in the future. So it's not about that.
Yep. Thank you, Andrew. Hello, Deb.
Yes, hello everybody. I follow Essendon, has for many, 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 many years. I can only say we're rudderless, we're pathetic, and I just don't know when we're ever going to play consistently well. That's all I can say. I've been following Essendon for years. As I've said before, when I've rung, my dad followed Essendon for 74 years. I've probably been following them for 60. And in the end, I was listening to you guys on the radio and I just thought, nah, I'm going to go and prune some branches. I give up on it.
Good on you, Deb.
Oh, Deb, it's a long journey, isn't it?
Beautiful day too to be pruning out in the garden.
Well, I know you like your gardening, Shorey, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is the thing. It's been such a long road and continues to be for the supporters. And I think that's why they get a glimmer of hope like they did in the last couple of weeks. But then you're right, they see yesterday. And as you said, Lib, it's not just like you're going to rebound from that next round.
The alarming thing for me is the inconsistency in what they're doing from week to week. And for Lloydie, who watches Essendon as close as anyone, if he can't see it, that's a concern, because you can't compete now against the good teams if you don't have your own system that's strong, and they just don't have that at the moment.
But you got your game plan, and you know what the opposition tries to do. You don't change your game plan to stop what the opposition do well.
No.
You know where it
Well, you
is,
just
and
gotta
you
do
work
what
it
you
with
do
it.
well.
Exactly. You do that, but you understand how you might be able to nip the other in the bud without taking away from your game plan, or else you're changing everything.